I'm Steve. Mark's outside right now, and this is Smokey Steve and Marc. Either welcome or welcome back. And happy Saturday! It is the weekend, so we know what that means. This is Javalia, dark roast, and almond milk. Just that. And lukewarm. Into the afternoon. It's a little late in the day because I spent my morning with Chantal. So I hope everybody is well. I hope everybody is safe. Look after yourselves. You know, take care of yourselves. I'm wearing a hat even though it's 85 out because we did a video yesterday in which I bleached my hair and dyed it blue. Now, as you can tell, I only have about the third of my hair left on my head, but I figured what's it gonna do, fall out? So don't know if I like it. Don't know if I look like Krusty the Clown, probably. So there may be a bleach bath in my future, but for now, it's what it is. So, thanks. Blue, I know. It was a gift. Marc looks great. His is purple. He looks fantastic. You'll see it tomorrow if you come to the live. So we're going to catch up with our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, the Chantal Show, the Chantal Beezer whatever thing, and then Foodie Beauty again. So, I was getting comments like Tuesday saying we need a midweek review. Earlier in the week, she did one of her, she'll film a lot of lives, since that's all we're seeing now. But she did about 6 hours worth in one day, where she was having some feelings and some actions about her gentleman friend who she's been frequenting. Okay. And then after that, there was a little bit, she had a weigh-in, and then there was, there were some falling outs and getting togethers and falling outs and renegotiating boundaries and sturm and drag and drama and her overreacting according to some folks and other people saying it was all fake and staged to get memberships. And so we're going to proceed, as usual, as though, grain of salt. Chantal has a channel. Chantal can be a little dramatic. Even according to her, this week she mentions it. So we're going to go under the premise that this stuff she's telling us is at least a little true and maybe well exaggerated, but not an out-and-out lie. So that's how we're going to discuss it. But bear in mind before we even start, that's possible this is all fake and just for a narrative. But we're going to go on as if it's sort of true. So I'll start with the night. Everything fell apart. The evening, everything fell apart. So, just to recap, last week we did a year ago and then a year forward. Quite the difference. Quite the difference. She was doing the only thing she was still doing then and now is eating. And on YouTube. Everything else seems to be a little different. Let's see. So when things went bad, she started with the clickbait video, getting married, clickbait. Now that's honest. At least she said it was clickbait, I guess. She's wearing a Good Vibes shirt. We have Good Vibes shit everywhere. It's actually part of our logo, I think. Good vibes only, anyway. But I like the shirt, Let's see. I need to get clean and grow my hair back. I'm going through some things at the moment. Not sure how to talk about it. Now, she goes back and forth about being tongue-tied when talking about her relationship with this gentleman. I'm using the word loosely. The gentleman is not a gentleman. I don't like him. Straight up don't like him. For her or anybody else. And they go, she can't talk about it, it's too personal. And then she says everything about it, including the size of his genitalia and, what day of the week he takes you know what I mean? So going through some stuff and can't talk about it is classic YouTube for anybody. They want people to ask. They want people to pull it out of them. They want to know people care. So they throw out the test of love question like, I can't talk about it. These are the people that leave having a bad day ... on their Facebook post and beg for someone to ask why. So she didn't invent it, but she's doing it. So she said she messed up and told the audience too much stuff. Some stuff sharing things without his consent. Well, yeah, I'd be pissed too. I'd be very pissed if someone did that, especially on such a platform like hers where there's so many people eager to interfere in her life, we'll say. It's not everybody like she thinks, but it's enough. It's probably enough. If it gets serious, he doesn't want a bad reputation. She fucking ruined that already. From their first 3-day bender, where there was his friends offering her money for, and what else? Oh, the meth, and the Molly, and the hard drug use, and all the other stuff that goes with it. Yeah, there's not much what can you say that would redeem all that and take it all back? Not much that I can think of. And I imagine he would be embarrassed to have those details exposed. So, yeah. Her eating, she says, hasn't been consistent, and some days she doesn't eat at all. If she's doing, drugs on certain days, she might not have an appetite. From what I understand, the Ozempic was discontinued. And that was the original thing that was thought to be helping her lose weight. Is she losing it now because she's substituting substances for food? Again, she wouldn't be the first. I've done it. Why diet when I can do cocaine? Why would you? You find out later why you shouldn't, but at first it seems like a great idea. She uses the word boyfriend a time or two here, and then backpedals and says, well, nothing serious. But boyfriend. She's so into him. So into him. She caught feelings. I'm not going to say I told you so, because when you're as right as I am, you don't have to. She catches feelings like that. She said she wasn't going to. I'm sure she didn't intend on it, but she's got like a level of immaturity close to, and I've been at that level of immaturity, where all of a sudden it's like a high school crush, but you're like an adult, so it really looks totally like, the disparity is like, what the hell's the matter with you, woman? Like, grow up, you're not 16. But you have those feelings as an adult. I have them as an adult too. First of all, it's a bad look. Second of all, it's very immature. Third of all, get your shit together. How? Everyone gets their shit together differently, so I have no advice. But just saying. So she said, what has she been up to? Just spending more time with him. There is no content now. It's, what is she doing with him? Is she going to stay home and get high, or is she going to go to his place and get high and have sex? There seems to be only two things that happen on the channel anymore. Next video goes. There's about 5 or 6 in a row here. Next. 1,000 hellos. Usual live. She's forcing herself to eat something. Nachos. When I don't feel happy, I don't want to eat, so I'm forcing myself. So she's in a completely different mood. Completely different mood than she was just a little bit of time ago. Completely different mood. She starts getting snippy with people about members only, people buying memberships, and she was snapping back at them. People were saying, well, I can't afford this much or that much, and this, and people said, well, I don't, and she's getting defensive. I don't have the right to make money on my channel. Okay. Squash it real simple. Guys, I'm available to you in lives for hours a day. Hours a day. If there's you can still go to it, you just can't comment in it. And like 1,200 comments go by all the time anyway. So yeah, they put out, people have memberships. I know a few channels that do. Some I subscribe to, some I don't. It's my prerogative if I do. I watch them all anyway because I like them, or I review them, or whatnot. So she's not the only person to do it. You don't get much except for some emoticons, and you can talk in certain lives. That's about it. Now, as far as her viewers go, I gotta turn my eye at them a little bit and go, if you're actually upset because you don't feel like 6 hours a day of live access to her is enough, and you need to be able to comment in that 1 more hour, find some other channels along with hers. Split your interests. Even the channels I like, I don't watch for 6 hours a day. I split it up a little bit. Maybe I watch YouTube 6 hours a day, but I don't watch any one creator for 6 hours a day. Spread the love. Spread the love. So, anyway, but it was her response to that, to their whatevers. And some of it was probably trolls just trying to put her on blast. And some of it was people just trying to make trouble and whatnot. But for a lot of people, it was like, well, what the hell else do I get for $5? So, I don't know. So anyway, she's depressed. Her mood's completely changed from her happy-go-lucky self initially in this whole day. And she's depressed, gotta go bye. Next, we're in bed. We're back already. So she feels really messed up and she needs to talk. So now we're opening up. Tell Pete you need to talk. You guys are friends. Call Rena. Call somebody else in person. Someone who knows you in real life if you're actually upset. A chat room full of people that will co-sign my bullshit is probably not going to be helpful to me because they're not going to be objective. They want me to feel good. They want me to like them, and they want to support me. And friends do that. It's, those friends who support you whether you're right or wrong. Everyone needs a couple of those, I think. But I also think everyone needs people that can love them and still call them out on their bullshit too. You know what I mean? Like everyone needs at least one of those good friends that'll say, honey, I love you. You're great. Knock it the fuck off. You're making a fool of yourself and you're having everyone watch and then you're getting indignant about it, which is making it worse. Everyone needs someone like that in their life. And it does it while hugging you, lovingly. So, she's sad and depressed. she said she's, making fun of herself using words psychotic, crazy, all that kind of stuff to try to describe her behavior. Obsessed, maybe, is a word that could be used, possibly. She's crazy when she catches feelings. Absolutely nuts. Like, we'll see as the night goes on. She says, someone said, well, maybe 100 people said, she was overreacting, to what's going on. Apparently, they had plans today, her and Dom. So she was giddy earlier because there was probably plans made. In the last video, something happened. They were canceled. She didn't want to talk about it. Now she's in bed and she's ready to talk about it. They had plans and he canceled. He said he was spending time with a friend or a cousin or somebody from out of town. And her thought was, well, what about me? We had plans. You canceled on me. And she thinks it's an excuse. She doesn't feel like he's being honest with her. And she said she told him she had to drop by BB's to pick something up. I think, and this was after he had already said he had plans to go somewhere else. I think she threw that in to see if he'd get jealous. And I don't think he got jealous, and that's why she got mad. I think she thought, she said to the audience, he's mad. He's jealous because I said I was going to BB's. No, I think he wasn't jealous, and that got her mad. I think maybe that's how it went. She's being outmaneuvered. This guy seems like a good manipulator. And she's pretty slick herself, but she's being outmaneuvered here. She's not stupid. She said so in one of her lives, but everybody has run into someone smarter and slicker than them. Everybody at one point, I'm sure. So she called him like 20 times and left him 1,000 text messages, because that's cute. That lets people know you want to mend fences. The fact that I'm so twisted and emotional is maddening. I should just go show up. Well, honey, be ready for whatever you find if you just go to show up. Let me tell you, okay, I had an ex. And there's a reason he's an ex. It's because I just came over and showed up, but it was good anyway. So I'm at the end of my drinking in this particular relationship. It was a gentleman I dated from Alabama. It was like an 18-month Dixieland booze cruise. We were drunk the whole time. And at first we were a hot drunk party couple, and then we were just sad. So I call on a Sunday when he said he was going out with his sister on a Saturday night. And he wouldn't answer his phone, and I thought, So the next day, we would usually hang out on a Sunday. I just showed up and didn't call first. And he always left his door unlocked because he was a fucking hillbilly and didn't understand urban crime. So I open the door, and I go in, and I hear the shower running, and then I look, and there's somebody else there getting out of bed. And they're not me! So I proceed to hustle this gentleman out. It's not your fault. You didn't know who I was. He didn't tell you he was in a relationship, but please get out before I lose my rationality. So we get him all together, and he was missing cufflinks or something, and I shoo him out the door. He's still in the shower, thinking what the fuck he's going to say to me when he gets out, I'm sure. In the meantime, I drank half a bottle of Jack, and the rest of it is mostly a blackout. But we broke up that day. So if you want to go over, you got to be prepared for whatever you see. And then deal with the consequences of that. Do you really want to know what he's doing? I mean, do you really? So, I mean, if you can handle it, you can handle it. But she said, again, I think he was bothered I went to BB's. I don't think so. I feel for her in all of this, even though she's created it and is maybe being dramatic about it. But I don't think she knows any other way to be about emotions other than dramatic. You know what I mean? I just think that's how it is. She did appear to be... She does a good cry with no tears thing. There's very few medical conditions where a person cannot cry, where they can wail but not cry. There's a couple people I follow on YouTube who seem to be very good at that. I don't know. So she is insisting that in all this, where she's being blown off, where the phone calls aren't being returned and all of that she's not being respected. It's disrespectful to her. Perhaps. But on the other side of that, 20 phone calls and then text messages is disrespectful to him, as much as I think the guy's a scumbag and I don't like him. Because that says to him, I don't trust you. Now, she shouldn't trust him after 3 weeks, but that's neither here nor there. What that says to the person is, I don't believe you're telling me the truth. For no reason. I don't believe you're telling me the truth. You should text me back. Now, as it turns out, the guy left his fucking phone at home. And then came back to it to find all these. Dig yourself out of that hole, honey. Apparently she did, but that's later. So she said, I wouldn't catch feelings and I did in 3 weeks. I'm mad at myself. Yes, well, it happens. I catch feelings quick too. 2 dates, not even. You know, a guy hands me a lighter to light my smoke and I'm planning the wedding. It's very quick. To be truthful, I did this with Mark when I first met him. I already had us walking down the aisle. Now, sometimes you get lucky and things work out, but that's not always the case. And, you know, our first date wasn't a 3-day meth bender. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong. That's not moonlight and roses, okay? People have met under shittier circumstances, but still. Let's see. Won't catch feelings. Mad at myself. So she goes to use the bathroom. Pete shows up. Somebody says, let's go for a drive. She said her car's broken because she hit another friggin' animal. She ran over a raccoon. Something big, she said. It was probably a deer. She said it wasn't. And then she says, let me freshen up and go to the bathroom. Zoom, she's gone. Next video. She's in the kitchen. Someone else says, you should go to his place. And she says she's not a stalker. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want you to see me like this. She said no one is hurting her. The bruises aren't from him. She bruises easily, according to her, because she's on blood thinners. And that's the reason why. She knows. She knows. I'm not making an accusation like that. But she knows. She starts to put on a full face of makeup. And I always did think Chantal did a nice face of makeup. But she's sitting there after we went from she's chipper to she's crying, she's in bed, and now we're getting ready again. So she's putting her makeup back on. And as she's doing this, she calls him from another phone. Chantal has 2 phones. Makes sense. She probably has a private number for her real life and then a YouTube-y one. And she wants to see if he'll answer. Okay, this reminds me of back in the day when I was a bit stalker-ish. AOL Instant Messenger. Now, I'm 38 years old, okay? So bear with. A lot of y'all are a little bit younger in the demographics when you come on Saturdays. AOL Instant Messenger, when I was in college, everyone had a computer, nobody had laptops yet, and you had AIM up with your cute screen name, and it would be left up, and sometimes it would look like someone had signed you off. Well, you'd have your friends go on their account and see if they showed up, and it'd be like, oh, they blocked me. They're not offline. So then you make up screen names and go talk to them and see if they're talking to other girls or they're doing this or they're doing that. I had an ex do that and not accidentally, asked my brother-in-law if he and I were hooking up. So people are idiots. People are idiots. I was an idiot. You know, it happens with that. So she calls from another phone. I broke up with him over a text. Breakup, boyfriend, these words seem premature. To me. They seem premature. But zoom, a little ahead. We didn't do that last week, but we're going to scoot a little bit here. She wants to go buy some edibles, some cannabis, or to smoke. I think she was going to go get some flour. And the place closes at midnight. And she didn't say the distance really from where she was to it. She just said it was a little bit of a drive. So she's debating back and forth. I need to bees. I need to this. I need to get my feelings. What. So I'm like, okay, you don't need to go get wrecked. Because when Chantal takes edibles, I don't know too much about the dosing with THC and edibles. I believe the medicinal dose is lower. You know, the recreational dose can be, I suppose, as high as you want. But it sounds like she's taking so much that she's wasting it, from what I understand from people who use it recreationally. Way too high. Way too high. You know, not that she shouldn't enjoy herself recreationally in a safe environment, but it's a waste. You know, it's a waste. So, should I go get cannabis? Yes. That's what she wants to do. And so she goes away and comes back in a leopard print shirt. I always go to the pot store in a leopard print shirt. She's got designs. She knows she's going somewhere else. She knows she's going somewhere else. Why would she? If she was just going to Clean Cop, why the hell would she do that? Let's see. In my opinion, she should eat like 1 or 2 gummies, get some Ben & Jerry's, lick her crazy ass wounds, go to bed, and start again tomorrow. That's what I think would be probably best. But no. She gets there, she gets put up in her leopard print, she starts putting on her makeup, she's getting ready. This is slowly treading towards something very sad looking to me, which is, I'm just gonna say it, lonely, desperate fat girl puts on nicest outfit she owns and makeup and hopes that the guy that's ignoring her will stop ignoring her and ask her to come in or whatever. Like that really sad, like, I'm thinking of like, there's 1,000 movie scenes like that. And it just made me feel like, this is so sad. Like she's doing her best here and the guy's still blowing her off. But then I have to remember, she's fucking calling him 20 times. I don't even care if someone liked, if Mark called me 20 times, we'd have a fight. So, but that neediness that I think she's getting from, I need to go see him. I need to talk to him. He needs to talk to me. I need to hear from him. This proof of worthiness, proof of sexiness, proof of attractiveness, proof of love. If this guy likes me, I'm likable. If this guy will sleep with me, I'm sexy. If this guy will talk to me, you know, I'm worth having a conversation with. If he'll call me his girlfriend, then I'm worth having a boyfriend. She's concentrating it all onto this guy. She's not playing the field like she was anymore. She doesn't have a couple guys juggling here and there and playing fast and loose, which, honestly, looking back, as long as she was, like, sexually careful and not playing too much with drugs and sex, I think was a better time than this. This is like, she's like, you know, a big dramatic emotional wreck over this guy who I wouldn't even split a cab with. So, I don't know. You should see what he's like when we're alone. You know how many people say that about other people who were not nice to them? You know? Anyway. So the road trip to go get edibles. Because she left all of hers at his place, apparently. So this is a convenient reason to go back. She left all of her stuff at his place. Doesn't he know I'm the only one who deserves attention? She said this in a snicky little way, like, doesn't he know I'm the only one who deserves attention? Chuckle, chuckle. She laughs, but she means it. She means it. Move ahead a little bit. She's in the car. She's at McDonald's getting a slushie. The plan is to end the stream, go get some edibles or whatever, or some flour, go home, blaze, and goodbye. Next, we're in the car. She looks miserable, and this is members only, I believe, in this chat. She says, "Hi, Joe." Karate Joe in a tiny voice. She said, "I'm halfway home." You know, she doesn't look happy. She doesn't look happy. She couldn't find the weed shop because the GPS took her to the wrong place, so she didn't make it there by midnight. She's not feeling so great. I feel stupid. She's crying, not because she didn't get weed, though possibly. She said she went by his house to get her stuff. Went by his house to get her weed, apparently. Because I'm sure that was the only reason to go by. Not for any of the other reasons that she called all those times and texted. And God, I know she's not the only person to do it. I know that disgusting gut feeling of, where are they going? What are they doing? What are they doing without me? Will they meet someone while they're out who they like more than me? Am I going to be replaced? What if... you know, all that stuff that goes with it. You have to be so glaringly insecure for that to happen. And I've been that insecure, and it's happened. And it's a disgusting feeling. It's also one people get sick of hearing about. So, you know, we hire therapists and peer specialists and, you know, friends and stuff like that to talk to. Well, we don't hire friends, hopefully, but, you know, you have people to talk to about that. So, going by his house, I don't think I've driven by anyone's house. I might have driven by their work, you know, well, possibly. It's been done, but it's still immature. And then she says, I have nothing to calm me down. Ka-ching. This, my dear, is how one catches a habit. Because initially, we're using the substances she's using. Or she is, rather, not we. I'm good. The edibles, and then the other stuff that was kind of escalating that she was using with him. She was using them to feel good or enhance a good time. Now she wants them because she doesn't feel happy. And because she doesn't feel well. So now we're using the same substances for the good time that we are for the bad time. This is how things start to escalate a little bit. Now it becomes a wonder drug. Now this is something I take when I'm happy and I take when I'm sad. Then it's something I take before bed, and it's something I take before meals because it makes eating more exciting. And then there's always a reason to have it around. And there's always a reason to have it. And then you legitimately do get upset when you can't get a hold of it. Then she's going to find out she can't have sex with anyone without being high because she's too body conscious, because she's too insecure. So she can't do it without being under the influence. Then things happen quickly. They escalate quickly, you know, and it's usually nobody's intention to turn out that way, but it happens. It happens. So she went, she tried the door. She looked in the window. She peeked in the kitchen. Her edibles weren't on the table. I mean, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. That's prowling. That's prowling. I mean, really. I can't go through this anymore. I hate my neediness, but I can't help it. I don't know if we're right for each other. The reason I think she's edgy, one of the reasons, you know, people who have done things to other people, sometimes it's going to get worried it's going to be done to them. They talk about that with cheating and stuff. She's ghosted people, I'm sure. So I think maybe she was afraid she was getting ghosted. And she's cheated before. Hello, BB, goodbye, Pete's. So she's done it before, so it's feasible she could believe it's happening to her. People who act out like that, not act out, I mean, it's life. People cheat, people, you know, it is what it is. Worry about it coming back on them because they believe it's, you know, well, if I could do it, they could do it. They might not be the same kind of person you are. Maybe they don't. Maybe they wouldn't, you know? So, in her situation, a person in her situation who is falling apart messy over a relationship she never should have been in, but is making a public mess of, and is crying about, knows that she's being stupid about, but is continuing to be stupid about, but can't help it, and isn't asking anyone in her chat. They're just giving her ass pats, like, oh honey, oh honey. There's enough of them saying it's not such a great idea, but, you know, I would give her a big firm hug, for real, big firm hug, and say, honey, it'll be okay. Now get your head out of your ass and go make a better life for yourself than this. There's nothing wrong with having casual sex safely. There's nothing wrong with enjoying recreational substances safely either, you know. But this is not, this, you know, she knows it's not a good situation. She's settling. And she doesn't really have to. Then again, if she's a manipulative liar, maybe she does. Maybe she should settle. So, zoom ahead, we're in bed. She needs more reassurance, and she gets a nosebleed. She's down to her strapless bra hanging out. She calls again. No answer. She said he would call me just as many times, trust me. Going forward. I've never met any of his friends. Didn't one of his friends throw a 50 at you to take your top off? And I don't know if they were close friends, but, you know, he was there. And it's only been 3 weeks. I didn't introduce... Did I introduce Mark? Well, yeah, Mark moved in with me and my parents. The other guys I dated, you know, never lived with. I didn't introduce them to my family for months, and then to my friends maybe a month and a half or so, but we had left the house. I wasn't going to see them on the DL. You know, we weren't like closet lovers. He wasn't embarrassed to be seen with me in public. We were just finding out if we liked each other and if we were going to present ourselves socially as, you know, not boyfriend and boyfriend, but, you know, together. This is the person I'm seeing, you know, to my friends. Don't flirt with him, I'm seeing him, that kind of thing. But we weren't ashamed of each other. You know, we were okay being out. And there was time to be intimate and spend days at home and just watch TV and play Scrabble and whatever the fuck people usually do on dates. I would just drink. But, you know, other stuff like that. So, yeah. Never met one of his friends. Pete's and BB never met. In 8 years, they never met. So let's not get all heartbroken about friends not meeting friends and things like that. You've kept two people apart for almost a decade who never met. And neither of them thought anything conspicuous was about that, ever. So, I'm going to skip over her weigh-in, because I want to talk about her weigh-in briefly at the end. So, going ahead to the next, I'm going to say day, I believe. I feel like an ass for the way I acted in my live streams. This was after the weigh-in. She was continuing to the next day. She thinks tonight, the night of this, she's going to stay home to bees. But she also slept, this is kind of the epilogue, she slept at dude's house again. She went over there after all the sturm and drag and the crying and the gnashing of teeth and, you know, I have this to do and that to do and I can't believe I was this and I can't believe he would do this to me. It's all chill now. She apologized. She overreacted. The viewers were right. He left his phone at home. Now, can you imagine, you leave your phone at home. You say, I'm going out, I have plans. Fine. You leave your phone at home and you come home and you have 20 missed calls and bunches of messages, including a breakup message from a girl you've been frequenting for 3 weeks. That's a lot. Like that would scare me. That's why you just let it go. You just let it go. You know, that's not cute. That's not endearing. That's the kind of thing that, like, turns people off. And again, I'm happy if it's a turn off to him. I've said I don't like the asshole. I think he's nothing but trouble. I think he's nothing but problems. I think she can do better right now. Maybe she should just be doing her, whatever. But, So she slept at his house again. She said she overreacted. She said BB had a good point when she talked to him. People don't want to see you destroy yourself. BB's pretty level-headed. BB would have been good for her. But I don't think she was satisfying to him. So she set new boundaries. Now she can still have fun, but also have her own life. She said she's always one of these people that have to learn the hard way. This is where me and Chantal are like when I say I'm like Chantal. Mind you, when I say these things that I feel like I can relate to her, I'm not saying these because I'm flattered by it. I'm saying it because I've been in that mindset, and you don't realize how stupid it is until later. You don't realize how off-putting it is until later, or how short-sighted or naive it is. Her live and learn stuff, she's gotta, like, bang her head into the wall, humiliate herself, get terrible feedback, and be, like, beaten down about it. And then it gets in her head and she won't do it again. But she's so damn stubborn. She is so stubborn. She will keep resurrecting this relationship over and over and over again, because goddamn if anyone's going to be right about the fact that he wasn't good for her. So, munchies. This was the day she had the munchies. Fried pickles, cheese, nachos, a sandwich, many munchies. This healthy food haul she was going to do, like, it's coming up later this week. Then she goes away and comes back again. Very heavily made up. This would have been last night. This was Friday. She's very heavily made up. Not date ready as much as pageant ready, I would say. She looks okay. You know, she looks okay. Sultry dark is how she described how she looked. I think that's my favorite Chantal look, is sultry dark. She said she's going to be the dom today. She's going to be the dom. She's being outplayed. She is totally being outplayed by this guy. He's in control. She's not in control. A person who's in control in the relationship is not twisted for 24 hours because they didn't get a text back. That person is not in control in the relationship. Ideally, no one person has more than the other, but the dynamic is not even. If he can go away for a day to spend time with friends and she was dumping him for leaving his phone at home. She was ready to rush to reaction without having all the information because that's how she is. I mean, 7 hours of radio silence and she was ready to freak out and drove to his place. So it was a big kind of immature reaction I think she was having. I don't know any other way to describe it. It was more like teenage drama and angst. Now, I did that up until I was about 30 because I like drank through most of my 20s. So I like went from teens to 30. So I didn't get like semi-mature about feelings until I was probably 30 or 31. Where it's like, I trust you. You're going to do what you want whether I'm there or not. So, you know, like Mark and I are like that now. It's like, you're going to do it whether you want to or not. I trust you. As long as you're home at the end of the night, you know, we joke. But, so, last night, she had plans last night with Dude. She hasn't put up anything live today so far. It's a different, kinder, more gentle hookup than it was before. Somebody mentioned the cheese graveyard with the pink wig during this live. It was funny, because that's my favorite Yabba, YouTube Underground, reaction she ever did. I don't watch her as much anymore. She doesn't make as much content anymore. But that was my favorite old school Yabba video. The cheese graveyard where she told the Heaven's Gate story. I was embarrassed by my behavior. I'm not going to let things bother me. She's totally going to do this again. Not just because it's for YouTube, but because this is how she is. She can't help herself. She can't help herself. She's going to have to get really, really hurt or really embarrassed or really put on blast for her to get something to happen. But I suspect this was, you know, kind of a thing she's been doing for a while. You know, and I'm curious as to what BB or Pete's would have to say about what it's like to be in a relationship with Chantal. Now, BB's a reserved gentleman. BB sounds like he was a decent guy. And then, you know, didn't want anything to do with her. And Pete's is so whooped, he wouldn't say a thing. So she's going to do it again. And what's going to happen if she does it again, it's going to spill out sideways. I don't think, if it happens again, I think she'll be angry. And it'll be angry McDonald's mukbang, mass unwrenching, another one of those F you, I'm living my life, I lost 30 pounds and I can go sow my oats kind of lives. It would be something like that. So that covers her sex life. Let me see if I missed anything else, because there was a lot that went on. Essentially, she was having a good time, and then the guy blew her off, and she cried about it for a couple days, and then she got back together with him, and they're having a good time now, apparently. This was ridiculous. This was ridiculous. So, the only other thing I wanted to touch on, briefly, well, two things. Her weight, she said she lost some weight. Okay, because the video's going a little long. She lost another 10 or 12 pounds. So she went from 400 pounds, allegedly, to 352, allegedly. This is a very good thing. Her losing weight is a good thing. It's one of people's biggest concerns, which she's well aware of, is her size. That she's, super morbidly obese and could die from it. So, her losing 50 pounds is a good thing. In light of other stuff that's going on in her life, though, it's not like there's other bigger pressing issues. It seems so silly because all the time people would say, everything goes back to her weight. She does this because of her weight, she does that because of her weight. And like 99.9% of the time it's true. But at the moment, I don't know that her weight is like priority one, only because she's picked up playing with hard drugs. Now, let's just say she had a different habit. Let's say Chantal had lost 100 pounds, but picked up a cute habit of drunk driving. I think that would need attention first before the weight loss. So if some of these other more pressing things come up in the front, great, she's losing weight. I hope she continues to. It's probably not the cleanest way to do it between having, half-drugged sex and doing stimulants. I mean, I guess results are results. To me, she does look a little bit thinner. She was wearing the skater dress during the weigh-in video, and it did look... Chantal's narrow through the shoulders. Her bones are. That's why her arms kind of stick out, because she's actually not that wide. They look lower. Her arm fat looks more dangly. She's a little flatter in the stomach. I only know because I looked, because that's my favorite dress. Well, no, the white dress that has the same cut as the favorite dress. So she has lost some weight. Is that to be celebrated? Yes. Is she doing it cleanly? I don't know. I mean, it's her life. Do her, I guess. I don't know. So what have we brought? Well, I have no suggestions. I can only relate and say that I've been... Yes, I'm in shorts. This is like a Zoom. I'm only dressed from here up. I can only say that I hope that she makes, more conscientious choices going forward. I've been at that level of stalkiness of internally. I mean, I wasn't peeking in windows, but where I need to know what's going on with another person. Why? I can't explain to you. Why do I think I'll feel better if I know? I won't. If you go into the phone and look, you're going to feel worse. If you try to go in and see if you've been blocked or call from another phone and they answer, you're only going to feel worse afterwards. Do you really want to know what they're doing? Do you really? Trust is not only for them, it's for me. Trust means I don't have to worry about what they're doing, because I'm fine no matter what they're doing. They can come back and say they went to the store, they can come back and say they went to an orgy. That's on them. That doesn't have to do with me, okay? So, bottom line, congratulations on the weight loss. I'm sorry you put yourself through all this. Whether it was just for the sake of content, whether it was elaborated, or whether you actually felt all those feelings that you said you felt that whole time. It sounds exhausting. Straight up opinion, I, Steve, don't like the guy. I think he's rude to you. I think jealousy like this, at this level, isn't cute. I think it's controlling. I think it escalates. And I would hope that you... as you grow in your own goals and recovery, I'm not saying when you're thinner you can get a better guy. Like, that's not how I mean for that to come out. But I think as Chantal maybe hopefully finds more things about herself that she likes, maybe feels a little better about herself, she'll expect more from men than she gets now. So that's all I got. I'm here for it. I hope that made something like sense to you. I tried to stitch it together as best I could. Again, if you have some more info that I missed, please drop it below so that anyone else who's viewing can have the full picture of what went on as best we can. Also, a special shout out to Chantal for making the content, to Thor, who also had recorded some content, and Jess Sayin, who put together some archives as well. I was able to reference all of those when I was putting this together. Thank y'all for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell on your way out so you get the alerts. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Twitter at SmokeySteveA. Our email address and our contact information is listed below as well. Thank you again, and I will catch up with y'all tomorrow. We are going live at 6 p.m. Eastern. It'll be Mark and I. It's our regular Sunday live. It's usually pretty chill. We have good mods, maybe 100 or so people usually. It's relatively quiet. So if you're free, stop by and say howdy. All right? Thanks for watching. Bye.